Thank you so much for joining me. It's me. You can call me the Actionable Frugality. I believe that everyone can become financially successful through investing and living below your means. That's why I share my journey and actionable tips so that you can learn and be inspired to start your own journey. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. Today we are going to talk about why I keep investing into VOO. For those of you who don't know, VOO is an ETF from Vanguard that provides broad exposure to the U.S. stock market. It contains around 4,800 stocks at the time of this recording, and it has a very low expense ratio of 0.03%. So for every $10,000 invested, you would pay $3 per year to own this ETF. As of the making of this video, one share of VOO is $426.95. Since I started working in 2014, I have been consistently buying VOO every single month without fail. In 2014, I bought 10 shares, then 20 shares, then 30 shares, and so on and so forth. From January to April of 2020, I took a break because I was saving up for a down payment for a house. But ever since May of 2020, I went back to my regular habit of buying VOO every single month. And last month, I crossed a significant milestone of owning 100 shares of VOO. As of today, my 100 shares of VOO are worth $43,695, or $42,000 after the $3.95 brokerage fee. Not bad for a little over 7 years. My total return for the past 7 years is 223%, which is outstanding. But even better is the dividend yield. Right now, the annual dividend for VOO is 1.51%, which means I get paid out roughly $6.40 per share per year. The total dividend that I receive every year is roughly $646. Not too shabby for just buying one share of VOO every single month. And if I were to include the dividends in my calculations, then my total return would be even higher than 223%. There are many reasons why I love VOO and continue buying it every single month. First of all, its broad exposure to the U.S. stock market. It really allows me to diversify my investments without having to pick individual stocks. I trust the fund manager to pick the stocks for me and rebalance the portfolio as needed. Secondly, its low expense ratio means that I do not have to pay a lot of fees to own this ETF. This keeps more money in my pocket and allows me to reinvest more into the stock market. Thirdly, VOO is a great way to invest in the stock market for beginners like me. It allows me to buy a little bit of everything, which reduces my risk and makes me feel more comfortable with my investments. Finally, owning VOO makes me feel like I'm a part owner of America. It gives me a sense of pride and ownership in the companies that make up the U.S. economy. Now, there's been some news lately about the SEC potentially changing the definition of an ETF, which may affect VOO. Currently, ETFs are considered non-registered investment companies under the Investment Company Act of 1940. This allows ETFs to be traded on stock markets like individual stocks and avoids the registration requirements of the Securities Act of 1933. The SEC is considering changing the definition of an ETF to include only those funds that use traditional techniques for constructing their portfolios. This could potentially reclassify VOO and other market cap-weighted ETFs as registered investment companies, which would subject them to more regulations and paperwork. Now, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but in my opinion, this change will not have a big impact on VOO or other market cap-weighted ETFs. The SEC received over 4,600 comments on this proposal, and most of them were against the changes. There is also no indication that the SEC is planning to proceed with the changes anytime soon, but just wanted to bring this to your attention in case things do change. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. I would love to have you back for my next video. So please, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. And check out my recent video on what I would do if I had $10,000. Until next time, all the best.